These nouveau black conservatives that have come up post the Obama era, these conservatives that were part of the Trump movement, a lot of them are fakes and frauds. They are dangerous and they need to be exposed. I'm going to talk about it because I'm sick of it. Good morning to you all on the East Coast, in the Caribbean, if you're in Europe, and to those that's in Central Time, Mountain Pacific, it's still Monday. So I wish you guys a good evening. This is Miss Ann Little Cole. I'm coming to you straight out of NYC. It's a very quiet Tuesday morning. We're in the midnight time over here, and this topic that I'm going to be discussing in this commentary is something that I've been wanting to talk about for the longest time, but I wasn't able to because if you guys know me and you've been following my channel and you've been listening to my commentary, you know that I had to take a break or two. So I wasn't able to come, and I had to do it for health reasons, okay? Now, I want to say that I don't have an issue with conservative people. I actually identify as conservative, but not in the context of the conservatives. I'm not a conservative, but I'm a conservative when it comes to values such as the Black family, traditional household views when it comes to politics, when it comes to economics and so forth. But I'm not an extremist in that I would never state, oh, in order to be a conservative, you got to be a Christian, or I don't believe that certain people should have basic rights. What I believe in is a system where rules and boundaries must occur. That separates me from being a liberal. If you know, a lot of liberals, it's like a lot of too much excess. So in terms, and I'm going to make a video about this one day because I'm going to say this: most Black people are conservative. Let's just keep it a bean. But because of what has been going on in the last 75 years with conservatives being linked to being racist, we as Blacks can never align with the politics of white conservatives. We are different from Black conservatives. Therefore, we have to basically create, and which we have done, create our own political identity. Because even the Black Power movement initially had conservative ideologies. It wasn't until the latter part of it where it became more liberal. I'm going to do a video about that, a commentary about that as well. But I've been praying over this, and I didn't really want to do this because this will definitely open a lot of conversations, and you have people out here who are nutty. The conservatives who are Black, going back to the 1800s, post-slavery times. When you talk about Booker T. Washington, who I believe was one of the greatest Black Americans who lived, his methods were not in terms of racism. How he handled racism is where he messed up. But the achievements and the contributions to this country and to Black life and how it improves Black life in the South, economically and socially, was just out of this world. But the way he went about it, to where he wasn't encouraging Black people to be politically active and just be quiet, that's where he went wrong, which gave the rise to W.E.B. Du Bois, because he was more outspoken. And Du Bois was what you would call liberal, but Du Bois at the same time, he wasn't really a fan of the black peasants. So this is where the conflict arose, which is why you have a lot of black people in the South that didn't really like W.E.B. Du Bois ideologies. So maybe I'll do a commentary about that one day. However, the one thing that we can agree on people who were black conservatives is that in those days, they would never, ever, ever speak out badly against black people in public with white people. The methods of liberation were different from liberals, but everybody wanted to see improvements for all black people. And it wasn't just based on religion. Then you have black conservatives that come up prominently in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. These are the ones that give the rise to the evangelical right movement. Now, follow me because I'm going somewhere with this, because it's going to get to my point of the thesis of this commentary. The evangelical right movement started with white people who had an issue with black people becoming powerful within the United States government. This wasn't just, I see a rich black person with money and they have more wealth. Now they're making laws. So what they decided to do was to band together to create and push for making this country solely Christian. Okay? Now, they would use minions, black evangelicals, and many of these evangelicals are rooted in Pentecostalism. Okay? And what they would do, they would use these people to basically preach a rhetoric about how civil rights was harmful for America. So basically, granting black people civil rights was harmful to the American government. Okay? You even had evangelicals who were black that were spies for the government towards people such as Martin Luther King, Ralph Abernathy, and many others, Adam Clayton Powell even. You had those that would speak out against them and they would spy on them. And a lot of these things, even up until a couple of weeks before Martin Luther King was assassinated, there was a black woman who was speaking out against Martin Luther King and said that he was dangerous, he was a communist, which she never even met him into that aspect, and she was speaking all over the country. Couple of weeks later, Martin Luther King gets assassinated. You see how they align these type of black conservatives? And this is what leads me to what I'm talking about now. The dangers of these. These people, a lot of them that you are seeing now, these people are the black conservatives that we call conservatives. But we're not really calling them out for their true motives. What they're here to do is to help destroy the black reparations movement or black American reparations movement. They are here to make sure that black people never rise politically and economically. They are also here to even destroy black institutions. They could talk about HBCUs all they want with Trump giving money. But what they don't talk about is many of those institutions he gave money to were conservative institutions. Okay, they were religious institutions. They didn't give a lot of money to Howard because Howard University is more liberal leaning. So the ones that were religious based, they gave a lot of money to. Now, Biden has taken a lot of money away, which is wrong. But many HBCUs are conservative. I want to make that clear. Now, what has been my issue with what I'm seeing in the past couple of months is that a lot of these black conservatives are really evangelical right. people, blacks that align themselves with the racist white evangelical right movements. These are not the conservatives such as Armstrong Williams. These are not the conservatives of Condoleezza Rice. These are not conservatives of even Larry Elder. Okay? You can say what you want about Larry Elder, but Larry Elder, you may think he's extreme with it. No, he is not. From what I've been seeing, they make Larry Elder look like, I would say they make Larry Elder look like W.E.B. Du Bois. I know it's wrong to say, but they make him look like him. Now, with that being said, I'm going to name names of black conservatives. You have Candace Owens. We know where she stands. We know how she speaks about black people. But the one thing I will say about Candace Owens, she doesn't mix religion with the bullshit. That's the one thing I will say about her. I'm not condoning what she says, but I will not lie and say that this woman is a fanatic. Matter of fact, I think Candace Owens is a grifter. I don't really believe Candace Owens believes everything she says. I believe that's a lot of it she believes, but when she talks about black, and when she gets upset over like when black people are either seeking justice or if they're acquitted for a crime, she gets mad. Those are a lot of that are her handlers. Brandon Tatum is disgusting with his ideologies. The only thing I agree with him on is when it comes to the mandates. That's it. And I hated to say that. But Brandon Tatum it's not just pro-cop with him. I believe Brandon Tatum believes everything that Brandon Tatum says out of his mouth. And Brandon Tatum is dangerous. Amazing Lucas, that's a thorough dude. That dude to me, is one of the closest conservatives of black conservatism of the early 20th century. His conservatism is basically balanced. It makes sense. He doesn't mix religion with his political views. And what really, really changed him was the George Floyd killing. That changed him. And when he saw other black conservatives speaking out against Derek Chauvin being charged and then being indicted and then convicted, that really, really, really changed his views of like white conservatism. And he went from having 450K subscribers to now he has 381K. That goes to show you that many of them that left were white supremacists minded or white supremacists in general, and they couldn't take it. Now, ABL, Anthonybrianlogan. Anthonybrianlogan, I will say, he speaks intelligent. He's out of fact, he's an atheist. But my God, this dude had the nerve to say that the KKK was nice to his grandmother and that racism no longer exists. I had to pause because this is the absurdity of these new black conservatives. Then you have the two that I just can't with them. I really can't. One you know of, I'm not going to mention her friend because I think it's inconsistent because the friend she's not, I don't know if she's a citizen, but she's not from here. But the husband, oh my God, I got to talk about it. The worst is bevelynbeatty and her husband, Ricky Williams. And I'm going to mention why. It's one thing to be conservative to where you all are Christ-centered and you proclaim a love for Christ. But it's another thing to state that if you are not washed in, if you do not believe that Jesus is the Son, that Jesus is God, then you are going to hell. If you believe that Jesus is, if you don't believe that Jesus is God, you are not worthy to live in the kingdom. Okay? The husband, the wife is horrible. And I used to like the wife until I saw how she would talk to people and like go at people on her post. And I was just like, you know what? I don't agree with the methods, but this is just beyond bizarre. I did not like how they went to, she and Edmé, that's her name, Edmé, went to Mayor Lori Lightfoot's home because of the looting and stuff that was happening in this country and all over the world because of George Floyd. And this was during the pandemic shutdown. And Lori Lightfoot was home. Now, she basically wasn't having the cops out there when all was going on, which was wrong, in my opinion. But she had private security. They were calling her all kinds of names and condemning her because of her being a lesbian married to a woman. The daughter woke up and pretty much has thought that the house was basically being like broken in. And the daughter thought that somebody was trying to raid the home. The daughter screamed and said, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, something's going on. It's like people are trying to break in." Nobody was trying to break in. They were basically calling Lori Lightfoot a homosexual demon that's going to go to hell for being a lesbian married to a woman. Because of the daughter waking up and hearing this, the daughter got traumatized. Lori Lightfoot's security basically had them arrested and they went to jail. They're still facing charges for that. And if they're convicted, they may do some jail time. Also, I do agree with the fact of her stance on being pro-life. However, the way that she and Edmé was going about it, I read the deposition papers from the woman who is now our AG, Letitia James. They were basically harassing people, breaking people's arms, causing injuries to a woman's wrist, slam somebody's arm in the door, push somebody, almost smack somebody who was pregnant and about to get an abortion. This is what I read. Also, she even fought somebody when she was running for state senator or state representative in Maine. Now, why I'm talking about this especially is because her husband has posted some of the worst rhetoric that I have seen from any black conservative ever on social media. Now, her husband doesn't have his own page, Ricky Williams. Now, on Facebook, he goes by Ricky Victory. Now, what got me to talk about this was because his wife, Bevelyn, posted a video about the cabin log Republicans that I did a commentary on. That's still up if you want to check it out. The commentary was about Trump meeting the log cabin Republicans. And that he was going to meet with them and they were upset because him being a Republican, he should be Christ-centered. So their view is that if you're Republican and you don't believe in Christ, or you're not following Christ's principles or Christian principles, which is to be anti-Republican, you're supposed to separate yourself from other people who aren't following Christ or God's word. But they mostly think of Christ because they believe Jesus is God. If so, you're not kingdom worthy and you're committing sin. So what she does is she gets very upset And the white people were upset with her because she learned that day that whiteness, you can talk about black people all you want. You can throw papers, black tar on Black Lives Matter posts. This is why she got a lot of views. But what you can't do is go against white people. See, she thought that going against gay people, she was going to get pluses for it. But no, because mostly you're doing is talking about white people. Now, I did the video thinking that they were really talking about something that was really concrete. They did get the information from Fox News, but come to find out, this thing never really did happen. It never really did. Now, the husband, Ricky Williams, reads about the Briggs Initiative. And he mentions that the Briggs Initiative was something to start homosexuals to teach homosexuality to kids. So, you know me, Miss Analytical, I looked it up. Motherfucker is a liar. I gotta say it. I'm going to educate y'all on how lying a lot of these black conservatives who are evangelicals, how low they will go. The Briggs Initiative was promoted and introduced in 1977 by a legislator out in California named Robert Briggs. Robert Briggs wanted to remove homosexuals from teaching children. Okay? It had nothing to do with them wanting to teach kids about homosexuality. Okay? The proponent of the bill was a man who was going to make history in the San Francisco Board of Commissioners named Harvey Milk. Okay? Harvey Milk got elected and fought hard to tear that bill down, because that bill was going to bring back the discrimination of gays, not just in the education system, but throughout the United States workforce, like it had did in the 1950s when gays were being removed and banished from teaching in the government in any capacity, thanks to a man by the name of Joseph McCarthy. Yes, I said it. Okay, he led it, and he too was a homosexual. So now I'm going to get to this. Ricky Williams, this is how much this man lied. The Briggs Initiative never got passed. Okay? On November the 7th of 1978, it never got passed. And it was a celebratory movement for gays all over the world. But let me tell you how vicious Christian evangelicals can be. 20 days later to the date of this happening, a man named Dan White, who lost the election of the Board of Commissioners, shot and killed not only Harvey Milk, but the mayor of San Francisco, George Ciccone, inside the City Hall building. Okay? And the only reason why the news across the United States did not promote the story like it should was because 8 days before the assassination of both Harvey Milk and George Ciccone took place, 934 plus people from San Francisco, California, and the Bay Area was assassinated at the hands of a mind-control, MK Ultra sadistic, Pentecostal evangelical Christian by the name of James Jones, through the use of cyanide poisoning in Kool-Aid, and some of them who tried to escape were shot down, and a United States congressman was assassinated on the soil of Guyana. That's the reason why many people don't know about Harvey Milk, George Ciccone's assassination. They don't know about Dan White and his trifling ass, and they don't know about the Briggs Initiative, okay? And the Briggs Initiative had nothing to do with teaching children about homosexuality, okay? It had to do with the rights of the human worker and the rights of people to do their jobs. And it was about equality, okay? Now, I know how a lot of people stand about homosexuality, and I would never take that away. And by the way, I am a straight black woman, and I am proud of it. I am a heterosexual. I want to make that clear. but I believe in human rights, and I don't like a dirty, nasty liar. And that Ricky Williams is a nasty liar. I mean, a nasty liar. And what he did, and when he said that, I said, Bevelynbeatty, you made a big mistake when you married a man that you met online. And I'm sorry. I know I should not be making this solely about them, but this is the lowest of the low. This is the lowest of the low. And you know what? I'm going to make it about them. I'm going to make it about them. I'm going to make it mainly about these two. Because what these two are doing, they want to create a new political party called Kingdom Conservative Party. Yes, Kingdom Conservative Party. Mind you, it's just United. If you basically add United Kingdom, you're basically copying off of the United Kingdom Conservative Party that's in Great Britain, UK. Okay? Now, this man also on his page, his Facebook page, talked about something that really made me mad. This man had the nerve to talk about Black Power. The Black Power movement is basically dangerous. Lied about the Hebrew Israelites being Hebrew roots, which is not the case. And then, of all things, had the audacity to, now, if you from New York City, you know that you cannot enter a restaurant if you are not vaccinated. Okay? You can't even go into the restaurant to basically pick up food for takeout. And you can't go in there unmasked. Let me tell you something. There's photos. You can go on their pages. You can go on their pages on Instagram, Facebook. You will see that these people are in a restaurant sitting down, eating in New York City, and they're not vaccinated. Now, I'm going to go there with this. And I don't do stuff like this. I've never done this in my life. But with this, I got to. You talk about black people who are freedom fighters for their own people and are black first, saying that they're not deserved to be in the kingdom. You called a black woman named KP, I think her name was KJ Morton. You called her a vicious, vile, low-down dog and said that she deserved to swallow her own vomit because she said the truth, which is the Messiah only came to the people of Israel, and that Paul was a self-appointed apostle, and that the Council of Nicaea removed many of the books from the Bible and added Paul's letters, and letters are not scriptures, which is the actual truth, okay? He called this woman every name except for a child of God. He degraded her. He degraded this woman, okay? And when I saw that, I said, I got to talk about this. I got to talk about it. And I will be posting photos because to me, I'm all for people believing their views. I'm all for that, even if it sounds absurd. And we all know about black conservatives and black conservatives. But the one thing that I can't stand to watch is a black woman. I'm black man and black woman that are grifters. And those two are grifters. Okay? Now, I know I'm going to get criticism from it. I'm okay. After the whole Megan Thee Stallion situation, I'm built for the shit. I'm built for it. I survived that. I survived that. So I'm okay. I'm good. And with everything I've been through the past 2 years, trust me, I'm good. Because I know a lot of my subscribers are going to stand with me on this. I don't like liars. And I don't like people who show signs of cult leadership. And this guy, Ricky Williams, who goes by the name Ricky Victory, who was Bevelynbeatty's husband, he is coming up as a cult leader. And I'm going to do a separate video about him. Because for me as a woman and a black woman, I've seen this play out. I've seen this play out in many aspects, in many different ways. I've seen this play out in ways that are dangerous and are disgusting, and I see people getting hurt from it. And as women, many times Black women don't speak up, because of the fact that we are, pretty quiet, and we're basically known to take a backseat and let the men do the job. Let the men basically go forth, and we are told to be quiet. And that shouldn't be the case. We don't have to be at the forefront of it, but when we see something's wrong, we need to say something. And after 3 weeks, or you could say almost a month, I've made it my business to talk. I can't just stand here and watch the charade go on. They are lying to you all. They are worldly. Okay? They're worldly people. And I believe that they lied, and they're using fake vaccination cards, because I remember Bevelynbeatty said on her live that if you're having issues going places, you can basically contact me and I will hook you up with fake vaccination cards. Okay? So what that tells me is that this woman is going around using fake vaccination cards, and her husband, I believe, is dating her because she has a following. Married her because she had a following. Mind you, they met online a whole year before they got together. And 4 months after they first met face to face, they finally got married. Mind you, they got married on June 28th. You can look this up. It's public records. They got married in Tennessee. If you're against the government and you're against gay marriage, why would you get married by the government? Why couldn't you wait until the wedding that y'all was going to have take place on Valentine's Day of next year? Well, let me give you a hint as to what my opinion is of it. Many people are saying that Bevelynbeatty didn't have a traditional marriage in the sense that she married the man and then had sex with him. Many people are saying that she had sex with him before they got married and got pregnant, which is why she married him. And if you look at the belly and the size of the belly, it's a possibility that could have happened. Now, once again, I'm not against premarital sex. If it happens. But when you're basically judging and condemning people, and you're saying that because they don't believe in Christ, they're going to go to hell. When you talk bad about Muslims, when you say all these horrible things about people, and that you're exempt from being judged because you're washed by the blood, you got to be called out for it. And I want to make it clear that I'm not picking on these people. But enough is enough with the lies. I've had enough. I can't, as a person, call out people who are famous for the nonsense that they're doing. For not call out these people. And I feel these people are harming people. You can say what you want about a lot of entertainers and they're doing this stuff. But the stuff that I've witnessed and seen is horrible. It's horrible. I can't. I don't believe it. I can't. I'm just floored. Oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna come back with more commentary on these people, and I'm going to basically. I was gonna make this video about Black conservatives mostly, but I ended up talking mostly about them. So I'm going to change the title of it. And I'm going to come back with other commentary, but this is going to be definitely a part 1. And for the record, Ricky Williams, I believe, is dangerous. I believe he married Bevelynbeatty to basically use her as a come up. I believe he's a fraud. I believe he's a con artist. You can go on his Facebook page. You can go on his Instagram page and view it yourself. I'm going to do another commentary about it probably tomorrow or maybe later on this evening. But I'm the first one, I believe, on YouTube to talk about this man. If you have any comments that you want to state, if you have any commentary that you want to talk about, anything, if you agree with me, you are welcome to it. If you disagree with me, you can comment, but whatever you do. Oh, by the way, I made a comment in September about her husband, and my comment got removed, and that's when I knew something was up. And I'm going to read it to you probably on another video to just explain it. And it wasn't anything malicious. I was basically warning her that she jumped in too quick. I have a feeling that he removed it. Or maybe she did. I don't know. But I have a feeling that it was definitely removed by one of them. And I didn't cry about it. But something told me to screenshot the shit before, just in case it got removed. And it's a damn good thing that I listened to my inner conscience. So on the next video commentary that I'm going to do, I'm going to read what I stated in warning her. And she's hard-headed. She's not going to listen because that's what she does. She doesn't listen. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you know, I'm a single woman. I choose to be single. I've been in a couple of relationships with men, only men, and I am careful. And I know that the one thing you don't do in this world, you do not meet men online, especially men who are talking this weird type of stuff, like trying to make themselves to be holier than thou. God called me to do this. I brought anointing oil to the nation's capital, poured it around so that America could be blessed. But you didn't get what you want because Biden's in office, and look at what's going on. You know, this is the absurdity that you see online. So I'm going to peace out and end this commentary, and I want to say thank you guys for listening. I totally appreciate your support. As always, y'all been rocking with me through everything. And I want to say thank you. And more importantly, like I said, I was coming back, and I did. And I'm going to tell you something, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just, this page I have is going to expand. I'm going to expand it, and I'm going to go into other things, other different topics, and I'm going to even create another page, another channel. So I want to make that known. Another thing also is thank you for listening to the last uploads that I posted. It means a lot to me. I want to make that clear. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I am signing off. Thank you. I know I'm long-winded, but I'm going to come back probably an hour from now. And I want to thank y'all for listening. Take care. Have a great rest of the night. Have a good evening. Continue to stay prayed up. And whatever you do in life, never sell out. Because it's not worth it. And never make a fool out of yourself. Never compromise your morals for anybody. Because at the end of the day, you got to pay for that. And this is your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm signing off. Take care and good night.